Hey everybody, it's Triple J, and welcome back to another episode of Bountiful Bayou here in City Skylines. And this is a fabulous little snapshot of our current and first citizens living in our downtown area, our city center. I'm really liking how this is gonna look. I feel like. I think as they start to, pop up and level up and things like that, I think it's gonna start to look really nice. Really happy with it. I really like the taller ones in particular, but I'm hoping that some of these might level up to that point. I don't know actually, but I think this is a very good start. We are already well over 19,000 at this point. We do need to get to 28,000 to get our next tile. Because we're trying to we're trying to get like out here basically, or at least be able to have access to these tiles. We have many tiles to buy actually. We still have not done the shopping center over here. That's something that still needs to be worked on. Be nice to push out in this direction. At some point we'll have access to the rest of the tiles, but it's going to take a little bit. Going to take a little bit. We need to get 38,000 for another one, 55, and then at 70 we'll unlock the remaining 25 tiles. But slowly but surely, keep our eye on the prize kind of a thing. But yeah, really enjoying how this is coming together. I think what we want to do today is continue to push out further and kind of start to define some of these areas a little bit more. Over in here, I'm kind of seeing, now that we're sort of looking at it, I'm sort of seeing this main chunk here as you enter the downtown, and also this chunk as sort of the main downtown area. So let's kind of redefine this using the district tool that we were using before, just so we have it's not entirely necessary, but I kind of feel like that tiny little, or this road here is sort of the small dividing line. Like there'll still be other buildings over here, but I think it's going to be not as maybe, I don't know, commercially dense or something. So the industrial sector that we have, I think that's probably going to get pushed further out. Perhaps, somewhere over here a little bit. Because now that we've sort of started to define these areas, again, it just takes like this lakefront residential. I don't know exactly how this is going to shape out now that we have all this high density. We need to figure out some sort of a piece that will, and that's kind of why I wanted to start to spread out the buildings more. So with that actually in mind, I might get rid of that. We have this connection off of here and this connection here. We'll probably do another connection off of this road. This might end up changing. This is going to get used a lot more, I think, than initially anticipated, which is usually the case. I think, and I'm still, like, the amount of time I've put into this game, I still am naive about, saying to myself, well, this is going to be, a rural road. There's not going to be too many people over here. So let's, we can make it, a smaller road because there won't be that many people and that won't get used that much. And yet, I still do that. And yet, I'm almost always wrong. So, I have a feeling this is going to transform. We may be able to keep it that way out here. But maybe after we cross over on the bridge, we might end up using, we might even split it to be we might have to, well, okay, we could keep it the same, but I don't think we're going to have this type of a connection. I think we would have to do almost like a proper interchange connecting them, and that I would be okay with. That actually would be not too shabby, because again, we're doing 3 lanes into essentially 1, right? And what we could maybe do at a junction like this is even use some of the asymmetrical roads. I'm getting ahead, a little bit of ahead to myself. Where's that asymmetrical road? Right here. could use something like this on either side. So having 2 lanes in, make it a one track on the right side. We could always increase the speed. And then they have to funnel into one going in. You know, it's tricky. Or we could do a proper 4-lane road, you know, heading into this. That also feels like that might be sort of weird. Increase the speed on that, but then at least give, you know, have some opportunities to use all 3 of these lanes, which they are using all 3 lanes, which is really cool to see, actually, because I haven't done anything to this road. But what I think is more than likely going to happen is we're either going to create some sort of a roundabout system here, or we're going to keep this road the same and then have like an overpass exiting and sort of do almost like a trumpet style type of thing, just for proper usage of it. Yeah, I don't know. We'll come back to that. So, okay, so then this road could come out and this maybe could start to curl around this. Let's start to define a little bit of this lake area, because I think that's going to start to be really important very, very soon. Let me get rid of some of these trees so we can kind of see what we're doing. It's also helpful to remove trees. I know I talked about this last time. It's helpful to remove trees when you're doing a lot of terraforming projects, just because sometimes it can be hard to see some of the contour lines. So generally it can be a good idea to do that. So in terms of the height, now that I'm seeing this road, I almost feel like this is going to be our connecting point that surrounds the entire lake. And I envisioned originally it lowering down, and I think I still want to do that, and then have houses just kind of peppered along the back side of this. Oof, I just don't know if we're gonna have the room for it. Well, let's take a height. Let's grab, because we could also do some sort of a terraced effect where we have the houses on one plane and then lower down could be a walking path. So let me take this height right about here. Okay. We're going to stretch this just wide enough for a little bit of housing on one side. I'm probably going to end up smashing this like in a little bit. That's okay. Something like this. Try to keep some of those, you know, curves in there and things. I'm probably gonna end up getting rid of that rock. Okay, so let me get rid of that rock. Okay. All right. So then this road, I'm gonna push this out so this road can come down. Because I want it to, I almost want it to continue on straight. Before it starts to turn. Okay, then let's go like this. Give us a little bit of that room. Oops. All nice and straight. Okay, let's see how this looks. So you go down. Nice gentle slope. Then we curve it as close to the lake's edge. I don't know how I feel about the straightaway areas, but we'll kind of see how that feels. Great, good. This is nice. This is actually very nice curving. I'm feeling good about that. Okay, then this will come back around. And meet up? Does it meet back up with itself? We could also consider, this is just the bike lane. We could also consider this being a one-way. I know that around, so where I live, around, we have several lakes that are sort of in our, it's not necessarily our downtown area, but it's definitely in a very busy residential, and the lakes are high value properties and things like that. We do have a lot of one-way kind of systems going around the lakes. So that is certainly an option. And then obviously they connect up with other roads, stemming off, which I'm totally cool with doing. But that actually might be a nice feature. And then this would be the 2 lanes, so you'd have to, we'd have to make this maybe more of a busier road. But maybe not. Yeah, like if I did something like this. Because honestly, I don't see a lot of, well, maybe we could do a lot of residential around this. Maybe it could be pretty big. Maybe it could be, because if we created enough connections off of this, I think we could get by. So then my thinking then is, if we take away the bike road, which I think I'm kind of on board with, oh boy, what if we actually made like a little roundabout right here? This would be a 2-lane road. Kind of like that idea. That we're gonna have to have this. Okay, so I like the gentle slope, but we're gonna have this come down faster. So I'm gonna back that out and back that out. Let's give ourselves a little bit more room here. We have the room to play, so make a little roundabout system in here. And then maybe there can be some like shopping or something near that roundabout. So this road is going to come down a lot faster. Back this out any more. We'll see how that looks. So something like that. It's all about the process, and that's perfectly acceptable in my opinion. Perfectly acceptable slope, absolutely. Okay, so then that will come down and be straight. Then we'll do a little bit of a roundabout, very small. I don't see this being a very big roundabout at all. We'll do it out of this. I'm just gonna make the roundabout. I think we'll do, and then I'll shift it sort of into place. So let's make it 4 or 5. 5 maybe? 5 feels a little big. Let's see what 4 might feel like. Yeah. Yeah, I could do. That feels enough to me. Just gonna preserve the integrity of this. Grab it. Slide it over to... I might actually have... Yeah. I'm going to keep it right off of that road. Something like that. So then this will go straight into it. Give myself a little bit. I'm going to back this up a little bit more. I want to have a nice curve into it. So it can be straight.
We want you to trust us with your money. Because it's with your money that we can make you more money. How? It's not funny business. It's
Okay,
money
so then we
business.
curve this, you know, maybe a nice little perfect curve there.
Maybe that's too complicated.
Maybe not. Maybe something like this.
Hold on. Imagine if you had a money pet and you fed it more money, and after digesting it would
And then we can do a
go money fishing,
bring that in.
money to catch a big money. You know, just come in and talk to us. We have even more
And then
money
we'll
than
turn
you
this
know
the
what
right
to
direction.
really do with your money. Banhammer Bank.
Okay, so that'll go around. And this will come off of here.
Hi listeners, Tony G here, coming from you from our new revamped studio.
Then we'll do that to there. And then what I might have
Very cool.
is another... I guess I don't really need these in here because I wasn't going off of the side. I thought I might do some of the side stuff, but I think I'm just going to keep it this way.
Back in the early 90s,
Is
good old Henry Ford was telling motorists they could have
have another road coming off of here to do some more of that commercial, like just a small little, like a couple boutique shops or something, right, that come off the roundabout. I just don't know exactly how that is going to play.
It's like permanent twilight, folks.
Yeah,
Depressing, right?
I'm not sold. I'm not sold on the one track idea. I'm not sold on it. At the same time, I like the idea of that this commercial little area here. So what if we sort of just pulled some of this, more of this out? And it is very steep, which I don't know if I love. Like, maybe it should just be the cliffs. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. Honestly, like, I'm sort of, I don't know. We could do something else over here, but this isn't, I don't think this is it. Then houses, and then we'd probably have like another connection point, maybe over here, that would link up to... Well, maybe there's more neighborhoods back here. Yeah, so maybe... Yeah, maybe there's more neighborhoods that could then connect up to something like this. I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know. The possibilities. There's a lot of possibilities. Well, let's start defining the lower area for the bike road, or the bike path, rather. So I think maybe this height? You kind of want it, like, nearish the road. Or, not nearish the road. You want it sort of, you know, near the water. Once we get that in, we can sort of mess with the height a little bit more. we're shrinking. We're definitely shrinking the lake a bit, but I still think it's a very, very good size for being sort of in the city. I think having that sort of terraced effect will look pretty cool. A little bit of flooding, that should settle. That should settle. Let me get all that to go away. Yeah, and then we can kind of futz with, you know, the harder edges and all that. Maybe this is like the slope down. I don't know. We can create. We could have the bike trail kind of coming off of here and crossing the roundabout, and then maybe, you know, sinking down right here. That actually seems like a really solid idea. So let's just do that right now. Yeah. So we do like this. And then have this link around. I was afraid of that. Yeah. It's just a little bit bumpy. Probably need to push this out further. So I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. So we can kind of get rid of some of those edges and give ourselves a little bit more room for it. Because we have these weird little kind of like bumps and stuff. It's sort of just part of the way that the brush works when you move and use the different sizes of it. We'll just kind of generate a curve right there a little. Because we could always just like put, you know, some sort of a fence or something around. But just give people the opportunity to... Not that. Yeah, like a wider loop. That, and then we could also just sort of do something like that. A little turnaround. Couple bumps, but nothing too bad. Yeah. You know, some of this might change. Might move some of this around a bit, but just again, this is, you know, we're we're working through the process to see how this is all going to come together. And what ends up happening in this game is that you run into a situation where you're like, okay, I want to build out this area, but I need to sort of define the next area before I can do the area before, if that makes sense, right? So like for me to kind of see this and where the houses are going to be able to go in and how we're going to be able to get apartment buildings in, I need to make sure that I have enough room to see where the houses will go and feel good about that, and then kind of see where the terrain is going to go and how that will get sort of, you know, because I don't think I want such a high cliff here. So I need enough room to sort of feather the terrain back so it feels more like a hill and not like a sheer cliff. And, you know, so that gives you more room. So it's sort of a layers game. It's just a constant layers game. We have no trash coverage over here. I mean, okay, so not to make this area any bigger than it already is, but I think what might be effective over here is a transfer facility. Did we ever put down a waste plant? Oh. We didn't do that yet. When did we unlock this? Wait a minute. Wait, that's not what I want. Milestones. When did we unlock? Did I completely skip over that?
You're tuned in to Coast to Coast. I'm
University,
and if you're looking for
the eco.
in town,
Oh, 17,000. We got the waste processing combined. I think we talked about it and then I completely forgot about it. Okay, so we got to put down a waste processing complex. That is actually new with Sunset Harbor. That came in the Sunset Harbor DLC pack. And it's a really, really nice way to sort of create, you know, better garbage collection in a closer area. So what we could do is that could start to live in the industrial sector out here. See, it's a layering thing. Everything adds on to another thing, right? Everything becomes something else. Yes. So again, if we do an industrial sector here, this is going to now make this way more. This won't be a trumpet. Remember what I was talking about this being a trumpet interchange, a simple little thing to connect these up? It's not. It's actually going to be pretty massive because it's going to have to connect up all this industrial. This actually might need to be a proper highway cutting through here. I know we have this highway here, but if we're going to do any sort of industrial over here, which I'm totally for, I think we're going to have to create something, you know. And honestly, if this becomes a 4-lane, like, I don't think it has to be maybe a 6-lane. It could be a smaller highway. You know, we could maybe use the 2-lane highway roads. But what is another possibility is that we create another junction off of the highway that links up and around this and then connects up to here, and then this splits and still remains itself, but then we would have another highway connection on the other side of the industrial sector, and then this small town over here. Whew. Yeah, let's actually, that seems like a feasible idea. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in here. Future highway. Future interstate. And then we'll be able to click on this, you know, at least we'll be able to see this, you know, kind of where we want to go. And then that will cut out, and then, you know, over to here somewhere potentially. And then that would be that would be a way for us to link this end of this road up. I think that's probably where we need to be. I think that's probably a good plan, because then that should help alleviate, you know, at least some of this, because this road could come through, connect up to that. We could still have this sort of, you know, rural. It's not really, I guess, very rural anymore, but we could have sort of an in-town, you know, little county highway that also cuts through. Wow, lots of things. Lots and lots of planning, but this is what ends up happening. You know, you start building kind of small, but then you start to get some of those bigger ideas. But I think this is all good. This is all literally seeing, you know, at least my process of how I think about stuff when I'm building. And so we're actively doing it right now. So I think while I feel like some of this ends up me talking a lot, there is hopefully some helpful you know, ideas, or might spark something for you in your own builds. I don't know. But yeah, I think this is all good. These are all things to sort of consider when building a major, you know, when you're building a huge map. There's lots and lots of things to think about. But that's part of the fun, you know, like there's no right or wrong way. It does, you know, impact traffic. You know, a lot of this is considering traffic. A lot of this conversation is considering traffic, but that's ultimately kind of what the game becomes at some point. But those are fun problems to solve. They're fun, creative solutions. And at the end of it, you get like a really fun product, and seeing it all kind of working together. It's just, I don't know. It's a really, really fun game, and it's a very, very cool thing to sort of put together. And every time you build a city, it's different. Wow. Okay. Well, and there we go. That's we're running up against another episode here, but we will be back. It doesn't feel like we did nearly anything today, but I think we started to come up with some solid ideas, and I'm gonna noodle on this a little bit more and kind of see how it feels. Again, this is very raw. This is just sort of the bones of what this will become. And it might end up being that we build the housing here, hate how it looks, you know, doesn't feel like it's adding anything, and then we get rid of it or change it. I don't know, but I want to use this lake in some way. So everybody, thank you so much for watching. I really, really do appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing you in the next episode of Bountiful Bayou here in City Skylines. Bye, everybody.